morning, everyone. It is the Bookatarian here for another video. Now, as you can probably tell by the title of this video, today I will be filming my May TBR. Now, I am participating in 2 month-long readathons this month, so it's going to be interesting. I'm participating in May the 4th Be With You? No. I don't know. There is a Star Wars themed readathon based on, May the 4th. May the 4th be with you. The Asian readathon, which is hosted by Cindy Reads. I will just write her channel name down below. You can click on her channel and find her announcement video and videos that she's done for it in the past. This is her 3rd year doing it, I believe, and I'm really, really excited. This is my first time participating in it, and I can't wait to read a lot of Asian books. Hopefully I can fit a lot of Asian books into this readathon, as well as kind of mixing it in with the Star Wars readathon as well. So yeah, unfortunately, I have to give myself a punishment for the month of May because I did not finish one of my need-to-read books. It was the Friends and Family Book Club book for March and April, and I did not come anywhere close to finish it, nor do I plan on finishing it, as I have no interest in reading it anymore. It's just not holding my interest at all. So I'm taking a punishment for that. I'll add a draw from the newly implemented Tin of Despair. Titles kind of pending on that one. But I have a whole list of books of genres that I don't like, some of the best of those genres, some very questionable books that are not like the best written or anything like that. Books from authors that I have kind of fallen out of love with. Some of their books that I haven't read yet are in here, and books that are intimidating because of the fan base that I haven't read yet, that I'm just holding back from reading because of the fact that the fan base is so large for some of these books. So I have to draw from this to figure out my punishment. I'll do that right now. I have them in this fake tin book that I got from Owl Crate a few months ago. Draw one, not looking. Hopefully it's not too bad. Watch me get the one Asian book that I put in here. It is, oh no. Okay, so we have Dune, which, if you don't know, Dune is a classic sci-fi, which is exactly why I didn't really want to read it, because the only sci-fi books I've read are not classic. They're newer sci-fi, and this is one of the ones that the fan base is pretty big, so I'm pretty intimidated by it, and it's a pretty long one as well. Another reason why I didn't want to read it, but I guess I have to read Dune this month. I think I should be able to use that for one of the prompts for the Star Wars readathon. But now that is out of the way, now I can go back to the regularly planned draws as scheduled. I have 6 draws from here, as well as the additional punishment draw that I just did. Alright, draw number 1. Ooh, wow, that's kind of perfect! I'm really excited about this. Okay, memoir. That's not showing up. There we go. Draw number 1 is read a memoir, which I have a graphic novel memoir that I can read that is also Asian. So I'm really excited about that I can fit that one. Draw number 1, we're starting off with a bang, going in a really great direction. Draw number 2, didn't want to come out. Okay. Big hype. That shouldn't be too difficult either. I think I can make that work. Alright, draw number 3. Backlisted. So basically a book that wasn't released in 2021, which is not going to be very hard at all. At all. There's a lot of books I could choose for that one. I don't have hardly any new releases on my shelf at all, so it shouldn't be a problem. Alright, draw number 4. I have to read a classic. Great. I have an idea for one I might read for that. One that was also in my punishment tin, so maybe I will choose something different. Why do I have to keep reading classics? Okay, draw number 4. most recent purchase. Okay. And then the last draw. Historical fiction. It's a very bizarre pick this month. It's kind of odd. Anyways, those are all of my picks. I will go and find the books that I will be reading for each of the draws and come back and present them to you. Alright, so I'm back and I have all of my books picked out here. I will start with the ones that I don't own physically. First off is the Backlisted. I'm going with, and for that one I will be reading Not Your Backup by C.B. Lee, which is book number 3 in the Not Your Sidekick Squad, or Sidekick Squad, I think is what the quartet is called, and it is book 3. I haven't read it yet, obviously. The first book follows the main character, Jess, who is a non-superpowered person born in a family in which all of her siblings pretty much either have a superpower or they are super smart or talented in some other way, leading Jess to feel just a little bit mediocre. And she basically ends up taking an internship, figuring that this internship is going to be the only thing that makes her stand out among her family, owned and run by one of her parents' greatest rivals in their town. So, yeah, everything just kicks off from there. I loved the first 2 books so much. I am such a sucker for superhero, superpowered people books. For whatever reason, anytime that is brought up, I automatically want to read it just to see if I like it. I have read quite a few superpowered or enhanced human books now that I could honestly make a recommendation video for that. Let me know if you want to see that kind of video down in the comments below, because I'd totally be down for making one of those. So yeah, Not Your Backup is my backlisted choice for May. And it's by C.B. Lee. I don't think I mentioned that, but the author's name is C.B. Lee, who is Asian. I think she's Korean. And if she's not, then she is Asian of some sort, but Jess's family is Korean American, so that falls in with the Asian Readathon. So for the classic, wow, you can hardly see that. Okay. For the classic pick, I am going to be reading Battle Royale by Koshun Takami, who is a Japanese author. And this classic follows a junior class as they get stranded on an island and are forced to take place in this kind of competition where they have to kill each other off, and the last one standing gets to leave. But I've heard that this book is far more brutal and gory and horrific, and since I'm not a huge fan of horror, I'm kind of hesitant into going in this one. I hopefully don't chicken out and just decide to switch it to something else, because I'm really interested in reading it, just because it is an Asian classic, and whilst I haven't read very many classics in my life, I really haven't read any Asian classics before. I think the only one that I have read is The Late Homecomer by, I don't even remember the author's name, but that was the only Asian classic I can ever recall reading, and I read it for school. So it'd be nice to kind of expand that classics read list a little bit. So yeah, that is the classic pick. For most recent purchase, I have Little Fires Everywhere, which is a read-along buddy read pick for the Asian Readathon, at least one of them that was announced when Cindy made her announcement video. This is one of the ones that is. So I picked this book up last week, and this was the last book I read, so that's what I'll be reading. Seems like it's a high suspense drama following a big cast of characters, and I know it's a TV show, because I've seen advertisements for it on Hulu. It's a really short book, so it should be a really quick read. And again, the author is also Asian, so counts. So for big hype, I have Warcross by Marie Lu, again, another Asian author. It's kind of a theme, in case you hadn't noticed. This book, I really don't remember what this is about either. Yep, so it takes place in a virtual reality world, and the main character, Mika Chen, is a bounty hunter tracking down the players of this game called Warcross to find the cheaters, basically, who aren't playing the game fairly, something along those lines. That's all I really know about this book. It's all I need to know, as Marie Lu is one of my favorite authors. So for the memoir, we have Almost American Girl by Robin Ha, who is, I believe, a Chinese author, and this is a graphic memoir, which is one of my favorite ways to read memoirs, as if they are graphic novelized versions of them. And basically, it's telling her life growing up as American Chinese, or Chinese American, excuse me, what it's like to be a daughter of immigrants and kind of stereotypes that get applied to her and stuff like that. I'm really looking forward to reading this. I picked it up a few months ago, knowing that I would enjoy it. So very weird. Okay, now this one is a little bit cheating, but I don't see it as much, and seeing as this is my game, my opinion is what counts. So for historical fiction, I couldn't think of an Asian historical fiction off the top of my head that I really wanted to read. So, The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang is a very historical event inspired world and plot. It is taken a lot from historical China, as well as a really big infamous event that happened in China called the Rape of Nanking. If you've heard about it, it's usually taught in high school, albeit briefly. But if you want to know what it is, go and look it up because it is super graphic and horrifying. But because there is so much historical basis in this fantasy, I am counting it as a historical fiction. And again, another Asian author, one of my books that I've been very highly anticipating reading for this year because it has got like just a huge fan base and a lot of people have enjoyed it a lot. And for being fantasy, it's really not that long. I mean, I was told this was epic fantasy, and maybe it isn't, but it's barely over 500 pages. And maybe it's because the pages are so thin. I don't know, but I'm really looking forward to reading this one as well. And for the readathons, the different readathons, basically, I could fill all of the Asian readathon with just 2 of these books. Like, honestly, this is pretty much my TBR for the entire Asian readathon. All of the prompts are filled with this one. Oh, yeah, nonfiction too. All of the prompts of the Asian readathon are filled with all the books that I picked here for the May the Force Read With You readathon, which I did finally look up what the name of it is. May the Force Read With You readathon. I will do a separate TBR video to go over all the books that I want to read for that as... So I forgot to mention my Circle of Magic Along, which is a readathon, read-along, that I've been doing since December of 2020, in which I reread all of the books in Tamora Pierce's Circle of Magic mini-series in that world. I am on to... I don't remember what the second book of the second quartet is called, but I am on that one. And I think that is the one that follows Briar as he goes to this place and meets another street rat like himself who has unusual stone magic. So he kind of takes her under his wing and starts to teach her stone magic, or how to control her magic anyways. And I forgot to mention that, but yes, I will be rereading the second book of the second quartet in Tamora Pierce's Circle of Magic world. Now I will say goodbye. Bye, everybody.